Good evening. Welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans, the think show that proves without a shadow of a doubt that the so called African American didn't find their way to America in the trunk of a ship. I'm your host, the Indigenous One. Tonight, we're going to talk about why Black never wins. It never wins. And why the people who refer to themselves as Black always lose and wonder why they always lose. And when you explain to them why, they always come up with something they never can explain anything. They just believe what they're told and they go with it. So, this holiday season, you're going to be around a lot of family. You're going to be around a lot of friends. Explain to them what's going on and what mess they're leaving their children and grandchildren in. Friends, nieces, nephews, what position they're leaving them in. But before we get to that, I want to share a couple of stories with you that I picked up. I just came back from a trip from Los Angeles. As many of you know, that's where I was born and raised in Los Angeles, and it's a mess. The Negro in Los Angeles is finished. Immigrant city. I couldn't believe it, what I saw. People were telling me before I went there, I wouldn't believe it. And they were right. But in Los Angeles, I ran into some family and some friends. And when I was there in Los Angeles, they were like most people. What I was saying about African Americans, they wasn't into it. They didn't believe it. Oh, nigga, shut up. You just whatever they would say. So now, years later, you have a lot of young people. And when I say young people, I mean fifth, sixth, seventh graders putting this information out because their parents and grandparents don't want to hear it. They're just stuck on Black. And the children know. So I would suggest to everyone listening to focus on the youth, really, because by the time you get 40, you don't want to know nothing. Let them go. But the youth, when you put it in their head, they're going to run into it later on in life, talking to somebody else, coming across the information themselves. And what you said to them is going to stick with them. So I'm in Los Angeles and I run across a young lady, and she's really big into her family, and she wanted to know about what I was talking about. And I tell her, I just try to make it simple. African Americans ain't Africans. I don't know how much simpler to get than that. So she called herself a Black African American. So I was like, where in Africa are your people from? She goes, well, my family just says we're from South Carolina. That's all I know about South Carolina. So I'm like, how do you get Africa out of South Carolina? Like most people do, she didn't know. So I said, all you have to do is, she was wondering if she takes a DNA test. And I'm like, DNA tests are for entertainment purposes only. Read the box. This is how simple the stuff is, folks. And we just don't, Black people just don't, they don't get it. So I told her, do something simple. Go through your mothers. She wants to know, why do we go through our mothers? It's because we all come out of our mothers, right? See, I try to make stuff real simple. But the way the Negro have been trained over the past 150 years is damn near impossible to get them to see reality at all. All they see is what they've been told. Copper colored lifestyle, 94. So here's an example. Copper colored lifestyle, 94. To me, that says she was born in 1994. What's that? 30 years ago? And she's been with me for 4 or 5 years. So 25. So the young people are getting the information. It's the elders, the grandparents, it's all that. They don't get it. And leave them where they are. You have to focus on people like Copper Colored Lifestyle and younger, because like I say, they have the information when they're young. When they grow, they'll just accumulate more information. So the young lady, so I said, well, go through your mothers. And she was like, well, we're supposed to go through our fathers. Who told you that? The church, of course. So you go through your mothers because you come out of your mother. And they don't call Mother Earth mother for no reason at all. Women are fashioned after the earth because the earth gives us everything we need. And as we're growing and developing, don't our mothers give us everything we need? Well, many of them do, not all of them, but the majority of mothers give their children what they need in order to go through this life. If it's showing you and telling you how to wash your face and brush your teeth, they do that. Keep yourself clean, feed you. I mean, you know what mamas do. So, and that's why a lot of us black men are dogged out so much, because we try to fashion ourselves after other cultures and other people on how they treat our women, and we try to treat our women the same way. It don't work. So she said, well, what do I do? Go through the mothers. So she had just went back to her great grandmother. That's as far back as she could go. So I was like, okay, go back further. So she didn't have nothing with ancestry.com or nothing like that where she could look. So we went back, and she always thought that she was from Spartanburg, South Carolina, the county of Spartanburg, South Carolina. Go back a little bit further, take another step back. So take another step back to her other mothers. And I'm just going to say mothers because they're all the same. We just put great, great, great. It just takes up too much time to say that. So we went back another mother, and that mother was from a place called Lauren County, South Carolina. It's the county to the west of Spartanburg County. So she goes, what does that mean? And this is what I do with everybody. You find out what it means. What was going on at the time that she was born? Why did she go from one county to another? If you know anything about the history of this country, they were warring against the Indians at that time. A whole lot of movement and a whole lot of shuffling was going on, and people were moved. People were coming in and taking over lands, and the people who were there previously moved from those lands because they didn't want to live around those people. Those people were nasty to them and whatnot, so they moved other places. That's why you couldn't find that mother, because you were looking in Spartanburg where the previous mother was from. Joining us always, Accomack Princess, Miss Lisa Cypress. What's going on, Lisa?
Kayuk, how's it going? How's it going? Are we on TikTok too or no?
No, I didn't hook up the TikTok, but I did a little piece on there earlier. But I was just explaining to them, a couple of things that I've been going through the last week while I was in California. About people doing their genealogy, and now that it's the holidays, and they're going to be around a lot of family and friends and stuff. It'll be a good time to get, with people and let them know, some certain things that maybe they don't know. So that's what I was sharing with them. And the second thing I want to share with you is this. So that was the sister in Los Angeles. So I left it up to her to go ahead and keep looking it up. And she's going to call me later on tonight and let me know. But it piqued her interest so much that she was excited about it that she called other people in her family, uncles and aunts in her family, to relay this information to, and they were excited. So this is what I'm saying. For these holidays, get with your people, the ones you love, your family, and give information to them. Let them know how certain ways that they can check their genealogy, because a lot of them may know already. They may not know a lot, but a little, even a little helps. Second story I want to
For
share with
sure.
you.
Uh-huh.
This using this term black, and it's really
Mm.
pissing me off because we seem to can't get away from it. You don't tell me what to do, Nick. I'm black. I can be black. Not knowing what the term means. It's a term that comes from another country, and we never add two and two together. We
Mm-hmm.
never we never we never do that. Black people never do that.
Mm.
They just do what they're told, like all pets. That's all they do, what they
Yeah.
told. So this brother and Lisa, you appreciate this. This brother uh,
Mm.
was bragging about how what is it called? How they're recognized Seminole Indians in Oklahoma.
Mm.
I'm like, Oklahoma? I thought Seminoles were in Florida.
Mm.
And this is something Black people, African American people, people who don't know who they are, this is
Mm.
their MO. So I'm like, okay, so you just mad because you're not recognized. I'm like, sir, why would I want to be recognized from people who stole from me? Explain. This is something that people who don't know anything, who just want to run their yap, they never can explain anything to you. They just talk about you, call you names and whatnot, but they never can explain what they're talking about. So I'm like, sir, how did the Seminoles get from Florida to Oklahoma?
Mm-hmm.
We were removed by the government. Is the government the same government that recognized you? He goes, yeah. I said, okay, explain how that works. And he couldn't, or he wouldn't, and since he couldn't, he definitely wouldn't, because he didn't know. He didn't know. So this is why it's going to be very important for you to get with family, like I say, friends, other relatives you don't know, and let them know, at least where you start out from, at least where you're from. That genealogy is very important. And where you are from is very important too. The land where you from are important. Why? Because you come from there.
Mm-hmm.
So Miss Ackermack, what's going on? Anna.
Anna, how's it going?
Uh, just as these holidays come by, and like I was telling the group earlier, we get to see a lot of family and friends who we haven't seen in a while. And I think it's a perfect time to explain certain things to them. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's a really good opportunity. It's good to bring that up. Good for us to start thinking in that way because a lot of times we get together and it's people need to start talking about the things that are important. Not just what seasonings on the turkey or how are the greens.
Right. Right.
Get to know who you are. And let me tell you something, it does something to you. It'll do something to you, your people, your future, to be able to have a better understanding of you. There's nothing more empowering than that. Like, seriously, there's nothing more empowering.
And like the
Nothing.
young lady I was helping in LA, she was ready to take a trip to Africa and blah, blah, blah. And when she found out about South Carolina, it immediately changed her whole way she was thinking.
Mm,
And
mm,
this woman's a grandmother. She was like, "What?"
Right.
And so I was asking her certain questions and simple questions that she could make sense of. I'm like, "Man, where are the Africans in South Carolina?
Right.
Where's the history of Africans in South Carolina?" And
Right.
she didn't know. I don't know. She didn't know. And go back and ask your family members because she has an uncle that's in his 80s. He was telling her a whole bunch of stuff. He didn't go into
Mm.
detail or depth with it, but he was telling her stuff. Yeah, he's right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He was
You know,
confirming
and
it.
all you have to do is look. And
Mm-hmm.
that's one of the things that I'm finding that's so hard for many so-called Black African American people. They won't even look.
Mm.
And why do you think that is?
They don't want to know. They don't want to think. They don't want to change the way they think. They don't want to be wrong. It's a variety of things that makes people not want to think. You know, they don't want to think. They don't want to change. They don't want to be wrong. They don't want to have to, what I mean? They don't want to feel responsible to do anything about it. Because then you know what? They might have to do something. They might feel like they might need to do something, which is probably even worse in their mind.
I don't know what to say anymore, especially these cats that are very arrogant, and don't know nothing, and arrogant about what they know. So those images you shared, I want to share them with the group, and um, maybe we can go over them. Go
Fine with
over
me.
what they are and what they stand for. You
Hmm.
know, s and these are images that tie directly into how the African American thinks, the African American's actions on almost everything. So I'm gonna share these with you, and we can talk about them. Is that okay, Lise?
Sounds like a plan to me.
Okay, this one right here. Wha
Okay.
what is meant by this?
Well, what is meant by that? Obviously, it's just the different. See, what we don't realize is that we keep going through the same similar things all the time, and we're not really getting anything meaningful or gaining any consciousness or any insight from it. We need to gain some insight. Oh, what happened to the image?
You said
Hello?
what? Yeah.
What happened to the image?
Oh,
It's gone.
there it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. So I mean, the reality is, okay, what was that? They used a bunch of kids, put them on the front line, right? Got a lot of kids hurt, murdered. Sacrifices were made. For what? For what? What
So
was
the
really
elders
gained?
can get jobs?
So what?
So the you were saying the children got murdered and were sacrificed. What happened to the leaders of these organizations?
What did happen to the leaders of these organizations?
They
I
went
mean, I
on to
think
get
it
government jobs and,
right.
college
Professor,
jobs, professors.
right. It's something that you can see pretty much across the board that they do that.
Oh,
That
so
they
my
end up
question to this is my question to you. How does that play out today? How does that when we talk about history, follow your ancestors, blah, blah, blah. How does that play out in today's world?
how does that play out in today's world? Well, first of all, we've got to understand, we got to understand what is really going on. First of all, not just from a historical standpoint, but from a today standpoint. Like, what is really going on? What we should be, what we should be doing about it, how we should feel about it, everything. But if we look at this whole thing, we're still playing the same old game. Stand for your rights. Vote now. Didn't we just go through that just a second ago? Weren't we just urging black men to go out and vote and all this? What was this? What did it do? What was it supposed to do? What did it do back then? Why would anybody try to convince us that it's important for us to be counted or vote for something that, first of all, we don't even have any, it doesn't empower us in any way. No one, everyone pretty much guarantees they don't give a damn about us at all. They're not going to do anything to kind of like compensate or give us any kind of you know power or any kind of you know anything that we need or want based upon us voting. So what's the point of that? I don't get it. What is the point? What's the
And
point?
another thing that's funny about that, all of the so-called politicians and stuff, all of them are getting popped for crazy stuff. I just heard one of the people in Cleveland, one of the councilmen in Cleveland just got popped for doing some kinda egregious stuff with the money. That
Oh,
and
the
isn't
money
that kind of
stuff.
the same thing that goes on all the time?
Well, yeah, I think that this is nothing new. I think everything's a money grab. I mean, I think the fact that people don't understand that these people are all about the money grab. The only difference is some people are in a money grab just to get all the government funds and all the donations, and some people are in the money grab to get all the government benefits, contracts, access to resources all over the world. Some people are on a more savage global money grab, and some folks are on a basic I'm gonna defraud the American citizen money grab. It depends, you know, on who you want to vote for. You're done voting, that's what you're gonna get.
But these politicians, uh, uh, these so-called Black African American politicians, they always seem to screw over their constituents, yet the constituents are always right there ready to serve. What is that?
I mean, we believe that these people are for us. That's the problem. We believe they are for us. When are we gonna stop and realize that these people aren't for us?
I mean, the egregious things that they do helps nobody, giving away book bags, just stuff that who cares? None of it helps. And we'll take $500,000 that's earmarked for the people for whatever it's for, and they'll use it to go on vacations, buy new cars, buy new suits, get facelifts and body tucks and all that stuff. And the
Mm-hmm.
people continue without fail to put their faith in them. So it gets to a point where you don't even blame the politicians. You just really start to look at the people because that's where I am. It's like, really? And we do it, and we do it arrogantly with our chest stuck out. We can do what we want to do. Dude,
All right.
the people I was talking to a brother from New York talking about the mayor of New York. This dude was almost in tears. He said he's just tired of the political game. You're not because you're still voting. You're with it.
Right.
You will hand this ideology down to your children and grandchildren, won't you? Yeah.
Right.
And this is what African American black person does. We do stuff that never makes sense, not even when it's done. And somehow we get this feeling that we've really done something like the Million Man March. Remember that? Now, some of you guys may be a little too young for it. You probably weren't even born when it went on.
Right.
But the Million Man March was the biggest crock of shit ever. And when you ask the people who was jumping up and down, licking at the sides of it, whatever became of it, nobody has nothing to say. I think was it a million man march for the millions of immigrants that are going to march in your communities? Because that's what it seems like happened to me.
Going live on TikTok. Nobody's
Okay,
in there, but we're on TikTok too. All
cool.
right. So, but the Million Man March, see, the thing about it, whether it's the 60s and we're talking about get out there and vote, fighting for voters' rights, doing whatever, whether it's that, whether it's actually the Million Man March, whatever it may be, right? The real point of it is who benefits? The organizers, the people that got the people out there that go forward and get to the daggone powers that be and say, look at all the people I was able to gather together. You see, you better pay attention to me. You better give me what I need or give us what we need. That, what is it? That divine nine. Whoever came forward with that daggone taking credit, whether it's, Farrakhan, the divine nine, whoever is the organizer, they reap the benefits. The common people who showed up, who lost their job because they going to some Million Man March, not going to work, they got nothing to show for it, right? They have nothing to show for it. But yet you've got these these people that are out here sacrificing themselves, and then the benefiters. What is Al Sharpton? But one of them young kids, well, younger kids that got to benefit from some civil rights, right? He got to be, the person they handed down a bit of the benefits, right? Al Sharpton. Al Sharpton. A few people get to benefit from what these organizers did. It didn't really change anything. What did the Million Man March do? Did things get better for the brothers after the
Nope.
Million Man March? Who benefits off of these things? So you got to understand who is trying to be the super shepherd. Who's trying to shepherd you? Who's trying to be your overseer? Until we recognize that these people are trying to shepherd us, and these people are trying to manipulate us, and that they're trying to control us, and that over and over again we're falling for the same scheme. Get out and vote. March with us. Do this, do that. And these actual people are the people that are benefiting off of your energy, off of your belief, off of your trust, off of your sacrifice, off of your time. Children died. Children died for civil rights. That civil rights wasn't civil rights. We still do not have education that is equal and integrated. We still have separate and unequal education. And if you don't know that, then you're not paying attention to anything. If you don't know that education is not equal, it is not integrated, and it is not equal. It is the same as it was before the so-called civil rights. Nothing has really significantly changed. And it's because we live in little pocket snapshots of time. You're born in the 90s. This one's born in the 2000s. I'm born in the 60s. Different people have different snapshots of things. And because we kind of focus on our own snapshot, we don't really get to see all the damn foolishness that has happened in these past decades collectively. We don't see the trajectory of everything that has occurred and how we're being used over and over again and how they're recycling the same old thing over and over again to use on us, to use
So would you
against us.
say? So would you say? And I think I like how you put that. You was like everybody just pays attention to their little Snapchat in time. So do you think it'll be a good idea if we put all of those snaps in time together like a jigsaw puzzle?
We have to start looking at what has happened historically, and start looking at the correlations and look at the repetition and start gaining insight from that. That's the only way we're going to get off this merry-go-round. We're on a merry-go-round, and it's not just for the people, the so-called Negro, so-called African American, so-called Black people. It's for all the people. We're all on a merry-go-round together. Our confusion is on intention. We are intentionally confused. We're intentionally misled. We're intentionally daggone being given a lot of false information and propaganda to keep us from understanding what's happening to us, to keep us to not look at the powers that be with a critical eye. You're always being distracted off to something else. I don't understand why so many people are worried about P. Diddy and what is going on in his private parties and what people are doing, because these people have been doing this kind of savagery for a very long time, and they're very bored, rich people, and it's ridiculous. What happened with reparations? Every time anyone brings up reparations, they say study it. Isn't that what the VP was saying? That we need to study that. We need to study. That's what they say. How come when it comes to giving some other entities either benefits or acts to they're going to protect them or money or whatever, it's just done? But with the so-called Black American, the best they can do is study it. You got old sisters, old elders, Indian elders fighting for their land being bombed, their homes, their businesses, seeing their families, their neighbors, their daggone friends being murdered by the government that they lived under, right? They witnessed it, lived through it, still alive, over 90, 100 years old, right? First-hand witnesses of an atrocity that was heaved upon their people, their families, their community, and they can't get justice. And we're more interested in P. Diddy. Yeah, we deserve to be fucked up. Excuse me. We deserve what we get, because where are your priorities? What are you caring about? People should be booking planes and taking it to the streets in Oklahoma around what's going on with them old ladies in Tulsa. Like, seriously, why is that not a thing? Why is it not a thing? Why is it more of a thing to worry about somebody's freak off than it is to worry about the way this country is treating those elderly women who survived an atrocity that nobody in this country should ever undergo? We're talking about a real Holocaust in America, one of many that have been done to the so-called African American Black people of America, the American Indians. They are American Indians. They are Tulsa Indians. Their fight is not the right fight because they're not in the right identity. It's like fighting for reparations when you got damn land and you got treaties and you have history and you have daggone a lineage and you have proof that this is your land and you fighting for reparations. That's the wrong fight. We got to understand what's going on in this country a little bit better. We have to be a little bit more clear about what's happening to us as people and these people that so-called represent us in the media. They don't get to represent us. Stars don't get to represent you. What? Stars? Why do we call them stars? These celebrities ain't nothing. What are we really fighting for? We're being confused from every direction. We don't know what we should be fighting for. We're letting these clowns, and I'm telling you, the clowns, all the way from the top to the bottom, left, right, up, and down. We got a bunch of clowns leading us by the nose, and I mean all of us. They're making a mockery of this planet. That whole election was a friggin' joke, and people are arguing about it on both sides as if Trump gives a as if Kamala gives a. How can you be in? You're working. You're a VP. How do you disappear? How do you disappear instantly and concede instantly? Why are you voting for these idiots? It's a joke. We got to understand what's happening better. And we've got to understand historically things on a deeper level. Snapshots of what's happening won't cut it. We got to put all the pieces together and look at the correlations. Look at what's been done repeatedly to us as a people. And it's not just the melanated folk. It's everybody's being hoodwinked. We're all being led astray. They're keeping us divided on purpose. We keep fighting about the same old thing, and they keep on keeping us divided on purpose. Because what? We don't know who we are. We don't know what they're doing. We don't understand the real fight. And keeping the American people confused and divided on every level, whether it's politics, race, religion, they're keeping us separated. They're dividing up our own families. They're dividing our neighborhoods. They're dividing us up all the way up and down. And it's time we started to wake up and recognize that is a problem. We need allies. We need to be allies. We need to understand that what's being done to one of us is being done to all of us. We can't, one and two can't fall down without 3 and 4 falling shortly after. We are too closely connected not to be effective. What do you got to say about that?
I mean, you're absolutely right, and that's what I mean. Why black never wins, and I don't like, So this is what gets me. See, we're always saying what somebody else is doing to us, but what are we doing to ourselves? How are we making things work and for us? It's like you said, these women in Oklahoma live to be an age where 80% of us don't even see.
Or not going to see
Or right. And like you
that part.
say, the new song out by MC such and such is more important. We all,
Anything's
I
more.
mean, and I'm talking about people really get into their feelings about these fallen stars, these fallen heroes, people who they would never meet, people who would piss on them if they were on fire, people that don't care. We're into that. We spend more energy supporting other people, looking out for other people, buying things from other countries than we would do for ourselves. I knew a sister that make soap. She said she gets no love from us. None. I'm like, you gotta be kidding. But I know she's not. Just so, and there's a lot of people out there who trying to do stuff to make it for themselves, thinking that they're gonna get black people and African Americans to support them. No, blacks and African Americans only support their masters. That's it. Anybody who
Mm,
doesn't think that's true, get with me. I'll show you.
mm.
You got people from here who are pretending to be Greek. Now listen to this. What do you think the children are going to say?
Right.
What do you think they're going to
And
say? What do you think the children are going to
right.
say? What is that going to do for the children?
It just creates another generation of children following in the same footsteps and running into the same old dead end. Because seriously, what is it doing for anyone but taking your resources that you could really be given directly into nurturing your family, your community, building real things instead of tokenism? Oh, well, I did a popcorn fundraiser and we gave, you know, a $500 scholarship to one. What the world? All the money that is available and these daggone organizations, and you giving away $500 scholarships in 2024? You ought to be ashamed. You ought to be ashamed. We need to do better and stop getting roadblocked by these organizations that are turning us against each other. That's all they're doing. They're turning us against each other so that we won't rally up together. That's what they're doing. Understand what is being done to you. Understand what's being done to us as people. We are being used by the oligarchy, by these new world order, whatever you want to call it, these people who feel like they are the puppet masters of us because we're too dumb and we can't handle the truth and we can't, we cannot direct ourselves. Oh no, they're just too ignorant. Oh, we they can't do anything, or we got to tell them what they want. We are being manipulated and controlled by entities that feel that way about us. We're giving them our energy, we're giving them our votes, we're giving them our power, we're giving them our resources, We're giving them control about the future for ourselves and the future for our children. And at a certain point in time, we got to understand that we was in the mud together, fighting for our win. And somehow we lost our way. Somehow it became him against me, me against him, her, we against she, all of us against each other.
So you think that's why all the different sects, Hebrew Israelites, Jehovah Witness, Greek, Seventh-day Adventists, Muslims, do you think that's the reason for all those different sects?
Heck yeah, that's why they put all these people. Yeah, put that purple thing back up. That purple thing. Yeah, I mean, put that. I mean, why is it there's always a new incarnation to replace the last one? You know, why is it that there's always some new religious sect, some organization to replace the last thing that was popping? Why do we have to have some misdirection, some organization to manipulate and control us? Why do we feel that has to be in our lives? We're not able to direct ourselves. We don't trust ourselves. We have to have somebody in a robe to tell us what to do, whether it's religious organizations, the KKK, the whatever. Why do we feel like we have to have somebody telling us who to be, what to be? Why? We need somebody in a robe bossing us around, whether it's a judge, a religion, a social club, the Divine Nine, a fraternity, a sorority. Why do we need someone bossing us? I mean,
When
isn't
none of
it
them
enough
ever show that they work.
It's enough that you work. You may work for somebody. Why do you need on your off time some other boss is telling you what to do? And I really feel like it's that people just want to feel like they belong. People just want to feel like they're importante. Maybe so, well, I'm important when I go to my meetings. I'm important when I join this organization. I feel important. I mean, is that what it is? Is that what we need? I'm important when I go to this church. I feel special because I'm a Christian or I'm a Muslim or I'm a Hebrew Israelite. Whatever. Is that what it is? Do we
I
need to
mean, but
feel
shouldn't you?
important?
But shouldn't we be able to look at those organizations, at least the history, at least in the past, I would say 25 years, to see that none of those work, none of those accomplish anything. You're in the same position that you were 150 years. I mean, you don't see that. So check it out. Here's a question from Pony Locks, and I think you're best suited to answer this.
I am. Let me look.
If someone is trying their hardest to be federally recognized, what happens one day when this government decides to unrecognize?
Well, that's happened. That's not like, ooh, that can't happen. No, that has happened.
That does
Because
happen.
it has happened. People have lost recognition, okay, and gone back begging. I mean, see, I don't understand, like, when you don't take the time to stand back and take a good look in the mirror. Understand who you are, what your rights are, right? What you are entitled to, how you can actually achieve what you don't see. First of all, if you don't look at you, you're not going to know what you are and what you have. But if you do take a good long look and find out, oh my gosh, this was in my family, that was in my heritage, this is what we used to have, this was still belong to us. If you don't take a long look, you can't really fight for anything. But if you get to the point where you actually look and fight for something, this is the thing. when these tribes want to become, these nations want to become recognized, yeah, they can decide to unrecognize them. But the power that these nations have is so great. If they would not want to be recognized, if they would say, you know what? How friggin' dare you? Like the Australians say on the TikTok app. Why in America do you allow the government to tell you who's recognized? That's what the Australians tell us. They were shocked when they found out that some of the excuse me, Western Plains Indians on TikTok don't really believe a person is an Indian unless they're recognized and have a reservation. The Australians were like, what? How does anybody get to tell you who you are? Who gets to tell you whether or not you're First Nation? You see, the fact that you allow that is, to me, mind-boggling. That anyone would say, you know what? Oh, please, let me hand in a dissertation of or 2 or 3 or 4 and wait about 50 years, 30 to 50 years on average. So that maybe, oh, please, maybe you could recognize me after you took all my stuff. You took my land, you took my resources, you took my identity. And now I'm going to go begging. Really? That's what people are doing. The same exact entity that is the BIA, the Bureau of Indian Affairs, is the same same entity that actually created the Trail of Tears, the Indian Removal Act of 1830. The BIA is that entity. You're begging the entity that killed your people, stole your land, or unalive, you can't say it, unalived your people, stole your land, and removed you from your territory and divided you from your families, sold you into slavery, and sold you all over the planet. You are asking and begging for their recognition. Excuse me, maybe I don't understand, maybe I'm wrong, but how does that make any sense? Why would anybody want that? And people get mad at me on the daggone TikTok because I'm saying, well, why would you want recognition? They want to cut off my head for saying that. You know why? Because they don't understand. They're just going through the motions. They're just listening to people that say that's what you should have, and they're just following and lying like sheep. They just being followers. They're not thinking about it. But that's what I said. We're all living in this little snapshot. We're not looking at the grand scheme of things. We're not looking at the links and the connections. We're not paying attention to that. Yeah, black don't matter. Black don't matter. Why do we say, and think about even the people that created that whole what is that? BLM. Those people were on the take. You know why we saw it? Because things happen so quickly now, right? Information is so fastly disseminated that it was really quick that we went from, oh, that's a great thing, BLM, to, oh my God, they're absconding with the money. It became a fact of a matter in no time, right? Pretty quickly, right? However, when you look at the whole civil rights thing, the fraud that was involved in the civil rights movement, the fraud that was involved in the Million Man March, the fraud that's involved in the what is it called? On the what do they want? What do they want? Not repatriation, but they want what's
Reparations.
reparations. That whole reparations fraud, it only benefits the organizers. Okay, the only people that get paid are the people that get the followers together. The people who make you drink the Kool-Aid benefit. The people that drink the Kool-Aid, well, you know what happens to them. Or if you don't know, it ain't a good outcome. Okay, you might not know. I can't assume. But the only people
Never
that benefit,
win.
the only people that benefit are the people that gather your dumbasses together. I'm sorry, but that's the fact of the matter. The only people that get over are the people that get you to come together on a cause that they really don't even care about. To tell you the truth, the people that are these organizers of these grand schemes don't even care about these schemes. The people that was going on stages and trying to get you to vote for this one or vote for that one, I don't care what side it was. They don't care. They're getting paid. It's all a bunch of smoke and mirrors and bull crap. They want you to vote on one side or the other to keep us all against each other and confused. They wish we would all disappear. They'd rather not have us around. They're just using us.
Okay, this question from JJ Benson's asked, have you heard about Cat Williams buying a huge lot of land in Alabama for an entertainment studio? That's the last thing our land needs to be used for.
Well, what do you think about that, Carrie?
I'm with JJ Benson. The last thing we need is another place to shake ass. We do that everywhere. And why is everything always entertainment? Why don't that land be bought and used to grow organic food? Why don't isn't that land used to manufacture cars? Why won't that land be used to manufacture housing? A different kind of housing that don't cost $1 million. And you pay that off and you still owe a million. That stuff. I mean, we don't, none of the people who we call our leaders or people who are in these high-rise colleges, they never come up with nothing like that. You ever notice that? Never come up with anything. They're just trying to get a job. Wait a minute. No, they're trying to be recognized.
Trying to
And
be
these are
recognized.
the reasons that the Black African American never wins. You never take your lives into your own hand. Just imagine what the indigenous people were doing before these people got here. The stuff that they blew up, the stuff that they hid, the stuff that's under these lakes, these man-made lakes.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that. Imagine what's been done. And just like it's buried on the land, is buried in many of our minds. And those of us who talk about it, we get man, you would think we put people under slavery. And we're just saying, well, think about it. Why
Right.
would everybody want to come to America? Why would people, you don't do it? No, well,
Right.
not everybody, but you don't leave your home to go live in Bangladesh, do you? But
Right.
why all these people from all these places coming over here to squat on you? You want to know why? It's the truth, but you might get pissed off. You know
Well,
why? Because it's a
why?
worldwide thing that's going around. Them people in America, those Indians in America don't know left from right, up from down, forward and backward. They don't know. It's a joke. You can go on some of these foreign these sites where like this, how we chat. You can go to some of these foreign sites and listen to how they talk. what they say.
Right.
And we just happy go lucky. So you young people really start to look into that and make waves about it. I mean, people will get mad, but they won't argue with you because they know the more they talk, the more they making asses of themselves.
Facts.
You can't go to Seychelles Islands and run for something and think the people over there are going to vote for you.
Right.
They can
Right.
come over here and they have a chance of winning everything because you know what? You will vote for them. Isn't that what the Black African American does?
Right. We sure do. We don't care. Okay, Trump and Kamala are first gen. They really are first. They both were born in, and from what I could tell, Canada. So I mean, what? This is the thing. Why do we accept anybody being and can be in charge of us? Anybody from the planet or the universe. If a green alien came over there, they could come and run us and shit. They probably already are. Tell you the truth. There probably are green and gray aliens running us already. Okay. Green and grays. Okay. But the reality is that's what we accept that. And we've been accepting that because we are approaching the anniversary of the biggest lie that was ever told. Well, the first biggest lie that was ever told, which is that Revolutionary War. Okay. One of the biggest lies ever. Didn't nobody get into a war against Britain, their homeland, over some tea taxes. They were being hoodwinked, dragged in the sewage in their homeland. They ain't never had it so good as when they came here. You think they wanted to beat up England over some tea tax? That's the dumbest thing you could ever want to believe, ever.
And you want to know why it's so dumb? And this is what I'm saying. All the people who think they got the education, where do you get tea from in Central North America today? Where would they get the tea that they were dumping?
Right.
I mean, where? Everything else is grown here. Where's the tea? We don't question nothing.
We don't question anything. And if tea's so important that it was why this country so-called started, why did that interest in tea not continue? I would believe it more if they fought over beer. Okay? Yeah, if there was a beer issue, if it was a beer tax, maybe I would believe the bit of that Revolutionary War story. But tea in America set off a revolution. Y'all, come on. Come on. Be more inventive than that. You trifling, sick, sorry, sad friggin' historians, fake historians, history fakers. The history fakers need to do a better job of writing fake history. This is ridiculous. The Revolutionary War is such bull. And then when you actually look at the players and you find out how many of them were Negroid, colored Indians, when you find out how many of them revolutionary soldiers, how the majority of them people was colored Indians, stop this. Because really, that's what got me to repatriate my people. when I started finding all these damn revolutionary soldiers in my family. I was like, what? What's going on? When you do the genealogy and you find out who you really, really are, and you find out you weren't formerly a slave, wasn't this one was that, never had shit, was owned by this one. When you find out that's not your story, and you find out what your story is, and how much your family really had, and how much your family still has, but somebody else is acting like you don't have it no more, and they got it now, and it's theirs. That's when you get really mad. That's when you're willing to get yourself locked up to daggone fight for what is yours. Well, no, it wasn't even a risk of getting locked up. What you're doing is not even illegal. It shouldn't be an issue of being locked up. But guess what? I don't have a problem with it because you know why? Because it shows how much they don't want anyone to know about what our rights are. That's how desperate they are to stop me from fighting for what is right. They'll try to lock me up. They want to lock me up to shut me down because they don't want anybody knowing what the true rights of the American Indians, the actual ones, are.
That's why blacks don't matter to them. And that's why black never wins. Lisa, one more question we have before we get out of here. Copper Color Lifestyle asks, aren't European descendants supposedly getting reparations before our people? Have you heard anything on that?
Honey, I haven't
Because
heard.
I've heard a story, and I heard a woman from England talking about this. That's what they're gonna do if this blows up, gets out of hand. They're gonna say, well, we want reparations too, because we were slaves. And then you're
Well,
gonna have the Negro,
I mean, that's
huh?
what's stupid. Yeah, that's what's stupid about asking for the wrong damn thing. Okay,
Right. Right.
that's what that when that was the same thing with the friggin' Freeman. When you're sitting up there going before Congress, arguing like you're a real congresswoman, you care about Freeman. You don't fucking even define Freeman. You haven't defined that shit. Okay. How can you sit up there and have debates with Congress about what the freedmen's and the Indians and no, you don't know what a freedman is. Let's get down to the truth. What is a freedman? Stop lying. The same thing applies to reparations. Who was a slave? They didn't even figure that out. Maybe that's why the folks keep telling them we got to do research because they don't even know what a slave is. How you going to fight for something and you don't even know who be the slave? You don't know about all the early colonial records. Go look at my TikToks. I read the colonial records and it shows you. They brought in prisoners from England and orphans from England by the hundreds. There's no record of no Africans, no 1619, no negras. Where's that in the records? Only those prisoners and orphans. So yeah, if you want to see, that's the dumb thing. When you go around fighting for something and you don't know your history, you look like an idiot. You look like a clown. People don't respect you, right? They let you do it. Why? Because it keeps the Negroes divided and confused, right? They don't shut you down. They're not going to put you in jail because you're useful. You're working for the damn oppressor, keeping everybody divided and confused. Good job, Negra. Good job, Blackie. Good job.
And that's exactly how they see you. You would take a name, somebody from another place. You would take a name that they call you, take that name, attach it to yourself, repeat it, and answer to that name. That's what black people do, right? That's what African Americans do, right? I know it
Right?
stings, but if you go ahead and accept it and say, you know what, you absolutely right about that shit, you would immediately stop it. That's why your mama always told you, tell the truth. Don't bullshit. Don't lie. Tell the truth.
Mm,
Tell the truth.
yep.
Shame the devil.
Hmm.
That's why your mama told you that. But know what the African American black do? That's the language of the African American black. The language they speak is lie.
The language is lie.
That's all they do is lie because they don't
Mm,
know.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
They'll lie. And when you ask them to explain their lie, that's when they start sinking deeper into it.
Mm, mm, mm.
So, Lisa, that's all I have for tonight. You want to go ahead and close it, please?
All right, you ready to go? You ain't got no more juice for the people because they seem to be cooking.
No, I
Um,
mean,
they
take it
cooking.
away, baby.
Uh, I mean, so this is the thing. I mean, the thing about it is the thing that's really very important and chiefly we want to make the point tonight about is we got to understand. We got to understand what the plan is when they are dividing us. You know, Jason Black just did a piece on his show talking about Roland Martin, talking about daggone Al Sharpton, talking about daggone all these different media people who were getting paid out of Kamala's wallet, okay, out of her purse, okay? They were paid. Even Roland Martin, his sorry old show that he got $50,000. Okay. So I mean, they just paid to deceive and to manipulate and control us. Understand what's being done. They're not educated, reporters. They're a bunch of jerk clowns jerking your butt around. Okay? They jerking you around for the dollars. Okay? They paid to puppeteer you. You are the sacrificial lamb. You're the sheep that they are delivering to the slaughterhouse. Yep, that's right, Amani. Roland Martin got $50,000 from Kamala with his little sorry show.
He
Okay?
said $350,000.
350,000. Oh, yeah, $350,000. What did I say? I don't
50.
know. Oh, $350,000. Yeah, from Kamala. Yeah, he got with his little sorry show. He got $350,000. Daggone DL Hughley got paid. All these people getting paid out of her purse. What? Al Sharpton got $1 million, 500,000, and another 500,000. He got $1 million. Al Sharpton. They are paid. They are pimps. They are pimps for the pulpit pimps. They're pimps for the media. The propaganda pimps. All right? They're propaganda pimps. Do they care about her? No. They care about being paid. They care about the paycheck. Thanks, Amani. They care about that. They don't care about you. So when we're being more concerned about these people, these entities that are good, you see how fast that Kamala slipped away? She still got a job, as far as I know. She's still supposed to be working for the people. She virtually disappeared, actually disappeared, and conceded to losing faster than anybody. People got whiplash. There were still people just starting their tears, and she conceded already. Who does that? People who voted for her were just flabbergasted. Who does that? And then you got on the other side, you got Trump, who is clearly a ringman of a circus. He is clearly a court jester. He is clearly what? It is a joke. It is embarrassing that we had an election that looked like something from Heckle and Jekyll or freaking daggone, what is it? Abbott and Costello. It looked like an app. No, I can't use these things. People don't know what they are, right? Okay, so they don't know. It looks like a comedy show. Okay, it looks like a big joke. Ren and Stimpy, whatever. It doesn't. It was not an election that we, as anybody, any people on either side, can be proud of. It was a joke. And anybody who took it seriously, I really think you need to have a sit down with yourself and examine yourself, because you can't tell me that you think that you take Trump or that Kamala seriously. She's a predator. She's a sexual predator just like he is. You think throwing your daggone body around to move up in daggone your position in politics is not being a daggone sexual predator? Huh? So women can't be predators? They can't use their bodies to get what they want? Stop being a sexist.
They don't do that.
Stop it. Stop it. You want to be a real woman, take it like you give it. Stop being a baby. Women aren't babies. Women are predators too. She's a predator. He's a predator. They both are problematic and on many levels. And they're all playing for the same team. And you know what that team is? That team is against the real American people. That's what that is. And until we get together and we have to get together and understand this. The Revolutionary War anniversary is coming up shortly. They got all this money slated for it, all this grant money bull crap, and it's a big lie. All they did was use that fake story as a guise to bring all the ships of Europe on the doorsteps of our country and seize it from the indigenous people. So they did. We thought they was fighting each other, perhaps. But they came to fight us. They had one goal in mind, was to take our country away. It had nothing to do with tea, baby. They don't care for tea here that much now.
So that's what gets me. We don't even put two and two together on that. Where is tea grown here in America?
Who's drinking all this tea? I mean, like I said, I could have believed it if they said it's Boston. If it was beer or rum or something like that, maybe I would have believed it. Maybe it would have had some credibility, but tea? Come on now. Tea taxes? Got them lit? Wait a minute. That's the last straw. Don't you mess with my tea, okay? I mean, you can do anything else to me, but the tea tax, you've gone too far. Come on, y'all. That's why they teach it to us when we're babies. It becomes a part of our psyche. That's why they teach us this nonsense while we're children, because it becomes real to us when we're too little to really decipher it.
But wouldn't you say as we grow, we should learn more, get more? I mean, we're growing. So I look at it as like a tree. We're getting more leaves on us. We're getting taller. Shouldn't we be able to figure this stuff out?
They indoctrinate us at a very young age on purpose. And that's why they like pre-K and everything. They want to get us as early as possible because our kids are coming up smarter and smarter. They're brighter earlier and earlier, right? So they got to get us early. Do y'all understand that England didn't even have compulsory education until the 1960s, y'all. They didn't have to go to school. It wasn't provided for the common people. Do you understand how important it was for them to brainwash and educate us in this country? Understand the truth. Start looking at history across the board. Start correlating, comparing, contrasting, looking at these things in detail. Why was it so important that they educated these folks over here with these lies?
And then another thing to take into account is something Lisa said earlier. Talk to yourself. Talking to yourself is fine. Just know where to draw the line. Seriously, man. I mean, because some of these things that are taught to us that are given for us to believe, if you just ask yourself the simple question, yourself, which is you, will come back with the answer.
Facts. Facts.
You are connected to America by blood.
Mm.
What America is to the world, you're the same thing, only you don't know it. And you're taken advantage of.
Mm.
And the more you're taken advantage of, the more you want to swallow. I mean, that's how I see it. If anybody else see it another way, please let me know. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong. But for real, and like Charles Johnston say, this is what we educating our children on. Because I'm surprised we still send our kids to school after what we got. We don't have another way to educate our children. We can't come up with another way to educate ourselves. You think you're the minority, and you never ask yourself, where in the world are the indigenous people the minority? That never crosses your mind? No. So this is why black never wins. Just because of the things we talked about tonight, the things that we do all the time. And it got to be dumb to us. Yet we
Right.
keep repeating the same old nonsense over and over and over again. And, one thing I would suggest is just ask yourself why. If it's fear, say that. Maybe you'll look at it another way. But remember, all of us are leaves on a tree, the tree of America. You're all a leaf. When the leaf hits the ground, it goes back into the earth for more vitamins and minerals for the tree for you to come back up and be another leaf and come again. That's all that's happening. That's how simple it is. But somebody can come tell you that two men make a woman and blah, blah, blah. And how is that going?
How's that work?
Nobody will answer. I don't know. Charles Johnson, I really appreciate you, brother. You always putting good words out there, making people think about stuff. People like you, Amani Bay, Copper Colored Lifestyle, and all the people that come and hang out with us every week or every time we go on.
That's
Hey,
right.
man, you got to put out information to make people change what they do think, change that. And it only takes a couple of words because most of the things so-called African American people and black people talk about, it makes no sense. It makes no sense.
You know what? I'm just like, what we do have to understand is that I'm thankful for everybody that has been supportive of us, and we support you right back. We love you right back, for real. And it's time for us to start going to the next level. As a young sister on the TikTok was speaking the other night, we got to start doing more, being more, making those next steps. It's okay. Let's find out. Oh, and also let's rally back to what Mr. Davis was saying earlier, and that is it's the holiday coming up. You're going to gather together with your loved ones, with the family. It's an opportunity for y'all to break open the information about who you are. Talk about the family. Talk about what the big mama say about us. What did Big Daddy say about us? What did great grandmama say? What things did they do? What food did you learn to cook from them? What's their history? Who was in what war? How many children did everybody have? Start putting together that tree and start putting together the pieces of the puzzle and start finding out, oh, well, where did so and so live? Well, what county? When did they move from that state to this state? And why did they move? Start asking the questions so you can get the answers. Did you hear me? Start asking the questions so you can get the answers. All right? That's how you start, by asking the questions. You have an opportunity to ask those questions. Some of them might not know, and they might get a little bit cranky because they feel embarrassed because they didn't ask them. Because when they had the opportunity to ask the questions firsthand, they was too busy shaking their butts and, rapping or doing whatever dumb stuff they was doing back in the day. They didn't take time to focus on getting the answers from the elders. So don't be upset if they get defensive or they feel embarrassed and they don't want to talk about it because they don't have any information to share. Be patient. It's okay. Because guess what? Your answers are around you. The answers will come. You seeking the information is enough to activate your ancestors into giving you the answers that you need. Trust me, that's the way it happens. So ask the questions, if not to your family, and then to the universe, and then to the internet. Look and you will find. Seek and you will find. But you got to start that first step. And then once you've done the first steps, you got to go to the second steps. It's time to decide what you're going to do with this information, how you're going to make it benefit the next generation. And then you got to look forward to the fact that we're going to be organizing and giving you the answers that you need in the form of some Zoom meetings. We're going to actually provide direction to the people that want direction. If you want to know how to move, if you want to know what to do, we're going to do it for you. Okay? We are going to have answers for you. That's the plan. So, enjoy whatever you're going to do or not do in the next coming days. But I do encourage you that if you can be amongst the ones that you love or just tolerate, do so. And seek the information, seek the knowledge so that you can build. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. So
Thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. Remember, you're going to be around a lot of family. Brief them on the stuff that you know and that you learned about your family. Because really, all the presents and gifts that you give, those going to be thrown away, thrown in the garage somewhere, not to even be used. But when you go ahead and touch that psyche, that mind, they're going to remember that for the rest of their lives. So you guys have a good night, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.